In this video, we'll be talking about some tips that you can use to save money on your wedding. Hey Wealth Builders, welcome back to another episode of The Bemuse. My name is Mishak.
And I'm Akiva.
And on this channel, we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like you and us. As you guys know, Akiva and I got married not that long ago. And without further ado, we're just going to jump into the tips because we all know that Mishak likes to babble. So for the first tip, we have skip alcohol if you can. And I know you might be looking at me like I'm crazy, but your guest, in my opinion, will be okay for one night without alcohol. For us, it saved us about $20 a head. And we were planning for a wedding of 200 guests. So when you multiply $20 times 200 people, plus the tax that they're gonna charge on top of that per head and all that good stuff, that saved us, I don't know the math. There we go. Just about $4,000 at the very least, that saved us. And you might be thinking, again, $4,000 isn't that much money for some of you guys out there. For us, that's a lot. So that is our first tip, is to cut out alcohol. They'll be fine with regular drinks. Maybe find out if the place that you are having your wedding is willing to do some sort of a mocktail or something like that is non-alcoholic for those of you that didn't know. That tastes just as good, just doesn't have the liquor in it. And you can feel free to let your guests know to bring their own liquor if they want and pour it in the glass. That is A-okay. But it just saves you a whole bunch of money.
Yeah. I mean, for us, neither of us drink, first of all. So people came to our wedding knowing not to expect alcohol because that's just not, something that we do. So why should it be something that we pay for? So just communicate that with your guests. They'll be fine. Tip number 2 is to rent your flowers. Rent them. You'll thank me later. And today's video is actually sponsored by Wedding Flowers for Rent. So we use Wedding Flowers for Rent for all of our wedding flowers. So that includes my bouquet, which you guys have seen if you've watched our wedding trailer or wedding video right now, and I'll be putting some shots up as I'm talking. But we rented my bouquet. We got all of my bridesmaids' bouquets, all of the boutonnieres for the groomsmen, in addition to the garland that was on our sweetheart table and the stem set of roses that were intertwined in the garland that we had at our sweetheart table. So all of that stuff we rented, and it did not break the bank. I mean, on average, flowers can be really, really expensive. Like when I looked into getting real flowers in the beginning, I was like, this is outrageous. If you look up how much flowers cost, like on average, according to Wedding Wire, this is an actual statistic, the average cost of wedding flowers in the US is $1,500. $1,500, y'all, and we did not even spend half of that with everything that I just described. So your flowers can look just as beautiful, just as gorgeous, not be real, and honestly no one really knows, you know what I'm saying? Like even my photographers were shook when they were taking photos of my bouquet up close, and I was like, doesn't it look so real? And they were like, it's fake, we couldn't even tell. They're like awesome. So Wedding Flowers for Rent is a really great company to get your flowers from. Wedding Flowers for Rent also gives you the option to buy them out if you want to. You get them and you love them so much, you say, you know what, I want to keep my bouquet. You also can buy out the bouquets. So for example, and I have my wedding bouquet right here, my beautiful wedding bouquet that you guys have seen. I decided, of course, I wanted to keep mine. If you want to keep it, I believe the bouquets are about maybe $200 for the full bridal bouquets. But if you're renting, everything else is so affordable. So for example, the wedding flowers we rented were from their Venetian collection in white, if you're interested in the specific collection that we did. The bridesmaids bouquets, to rent them, were $29.99 each to rent. My bridal bouquet was $59.99 to rent. The boutonnieres for the guys were $6.99 to rent each. And then we had the garland, which was $29.99, and this 12 stem set of roses that we had intertwined in white, those were $12.99 to rent. So you can see they're really, really affordable, And even when you take into account the shipping cost, there is a shipping cost of, for me, it was $44. So just putting that out there that, you know, it's not just the base price. Of course, there's taxes, and shipping is, for me, at least to my location, it was $44. But even when you add that all up, like I said, it still does not even come close to what you would be spending for real flowers. And for any orders over $150, they also toss in a free toss bouquet. I actually still have mine in the box because we ran out of time at our wedding and actually didn't end up doing the bouquet toss. So I actually still have mine, and of course it's a toss bouquet, it's yours to keep. So whether you use it or you don't, I still have mine here that you know, we can use. And I will actually open this with you guys live because, like I said, I haven't opened it, so you can see what the quality looks like. It's the struggle. The struggle's real. You're stronger than me. I'm sweating.
So as you can see, comes in some pretty nice tissue paper.
Everything came all wrapped up, spread out in a box, laid out very, very nicely. So this is the little toss bouquet that they give you for the bouquet toss. And you know, it's still really cute. So yeah, this is cute, and just another little keepsake that we'll have since we didn't get to use it on the actual day. But this is what they look like, and I'll give you guys an up-close view just to, you know, get a sense. And then they give you a couple days after your event. They have, of course, the pre-included shipping return label. So once your wedding is all done, essentially what we did, because of course we had whisked right away off to Vegas. If you guys, did we post Vegas content on our Instagram? I don't even know.
No, not on the...
Well, we got some content to post. We went to Vegas right after our wedding. So we had, you know, my maid of honor put her on point, said collect all the bouquets. Here's the label, here's the box, send it back. It was no problem, easy peasy lemon squeezy. You got an email when they, you know, received it, and you're good to go. So it was a very seamless, simple process. Try them out. Really great stuff, really great flowers. It was a really great experience. Save yourself some coin and have some gorgeous flowers.
And then for our third and final tip, we have watch out for promotional emails. And I know that this is probably really a daunting task for a lot of people out there, but in our example, the venue that we chose to go with, which I don't know if we've just, you know, said that out there, but it was actually the Architects Golf Club in New Jersey. Akiva signed us up for promotion, like for their, you know, their email list. And maybe I would say shortly after we gave them our deposit, the email stated that if you were to pay up front, that they were going to give 10% off.
Yeah, so what happened was essentially when we had our contract, we had our set payments. This is the amount due by this date, this is the amount due by whatever date. And since we had a pretty long time frame, we weren't, you know, booking now for 3 months later. It was still like pretty much like almost a year in advance that we booked our venue. So they said essentially we booked in at the end of 2019, obviously right after we got engaged, we booked our venue pretty quickly. And they said if you make any payments that are due per your contract in 2020, in 2019, we will give you a credit of 10% of whatever amount you pay in 2019. And so we actually ended up putting a lot of the money for the wedding out up front because we decided to essentially pay off our contract before the end of 2019, and we were able to get a credit of 10% of what we paid. And that helped free up some additional money where we were able to do a couple of add-ons and everything like that and not have to take out more money out of our pocket. So that's another tip.
And that can also be useful with anything that you're looking to buy for your wedding or rent or anything like that. If they have any sort of promotional discounts that go through their email list, that is where you're going to see it primarily. So just making sure that you are signed up to receive those emails so that if anything comes through, you can hop on it if finances allow. But on a whole, those are our 3 tips on ways that you can save money. So just to recap again, tip number 1 is to save on that drinking package if you can, to cut out alcohol altogether. Rent your flowers from the great places like
Wedding Flowers for Rent.
We highly recommend
Very
them.
Self-explanatory. weddingflowersforrent.com, and of course we'll have a link in the description.
And the third tip is to, like I just mentioned, to sign up for those promotional emails. So we hope that you enjoyed this video and that it brought some type of value to all those people out there who are recently engaged, looking to get married soon. It is not too late for these things to apply to you. If you haven't gotten your flowers yet, rent them. Check the link below. You will definitely not regret it. That average of spending $1,500 on flowers, where you can slash that in more than half, is extremely valuable. Speaking from people who literally just went through a wedding, things can get very pricey. And those last minute things that you don't necessarily remember, but it's like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want whatever, save any way that you can. So thanks for watching this video. We hope that you enjoyed it. Comment down below, did you use any of the tips that we spoke about in this video? We want to hear about it down below in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss when we post new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.